Spud, 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 spud. Here's the unique opening. There we go. All done. Unique opening done.
I was walking the dog this morning thinking of something as well. I'm like, I'll keep that for next week now. Fine, okay, good on. Well done, Tommie, well done.
First of all, I will start by saying it's already. Have you had coffee today? This should be the question. What type of spud do I have today? Have you had your coffee? Have you not had your coffee?
No, I haven't had coffee. I have honey tea honey.
All right, yeah. I've been doing some lemon and ginger and honey tea recently. It's really nice.
Oh, very good, very good.
So I want to start by saying a big thank you to William Opdyke, who is a tremendously brilliant person, because he sent me some stuff. He always sends me stuff, but he sent me some stuff he made himself this time. So I've only some of it here.
Oh, some of the metal stuff. His metal stuff is great. I love watching his...
this is the dagger he sent me, or letter opener for customs purposes. But it has the...
cool.
So it's really awesome. And he sent me some other stuff, but this is the... I suppose the Crozier, the Saint Crozier that he made a metal thing of for stabbing my my charcoal and stuff like that.
Oh, the voodoo dolls. The Spud voodoo dolls.
The Spud voodoo doll, yeah. And TV license man in the face. And he sent me incense burner as well, which is cool, which is there.
Oh, nice. Oh. It's metal as well.
Yeah, it's metal there, yeah. So
cool,
two bowls and a... Yeah, cool. So I just want to say thanks very much. Kate arrived at the weekend, and I don't do the social media thing at the weekend, so I said I could put up pictures for him, and then I didn't because I'm an idiot and lazy, and in fairness, because I was busy, and so I said I'll do it in the podcast. So thank you very much, William. You're a legend.
I will sound, yeah. I like following his Instagram and seeing like how his progression, like how good he's becoming at the
he's so good. Huh? Yeah, because he's not doing it that long. Like, he's. I don't know. Maybe he's been doing it a while, but he's only been posting about it for a while. So
yeah, get him over to Poland and put some fucking shoes on some horses for me.
No better man.
That won't scare the bejesus out of you.
Yeah. I have a whole different kind of appreciation of Poland now since that documentary I watched.
Since the documentary which we're talking about, but it's like horses are these huge big animals, but like their feet are they're kind of where their digits are on their feet, right? Which they don't have, but it's one thing. But it's really like this. What's that? Your wrist bone, whatever. Their ankle.
Oh yeah. I've heard that before.
Like it's really weak, like, and you can move it around, but like you have it between your legs and you're holding it, and it's this huge, big, powerful animal, and you can just like one quick move and you could pretty much end its life because you can break it, and then
you have to kill a horse as soon as you break a bone. Yeah, because that's how it is. Okay, come here, ask me this. Answer me this? Ask me this. Answer me this. Do horses need horseshoes because we put them in situations that they wouldn't naturally be in?
No. It's because the hoof will grow and it's very painful for them. They go really, really horrible long.
But what did they do before, man? Like just be in pain?
That's what it looks like, yeah. Isn't that mad?
That's crap design. God!
Huh? You can see. No.
So what horses do the other thing in the world that wears clothes? Other than humans? So wear shoes.
Do they put them on? They don't put them on camels. No, they don't put them on camels. It's only horses, as far as I know. No. See, the difference is that if you had them just on pasture or soft land, then their toes would get really, and it's really painful for them. It's horrible.
All right, okay.
But if you have just like wild horses, like you have, say, in America, those Mustangs and all that, like they're on a mix of ground all the time, so it helps kind of wear the toe down anyway.
So it's a bit like a dog only ever been on grass and his nails get really long because he's not getting them.
Yeah.
All right, okay, get you.
Like that,
I understand. Yeah. I take it back, God. That's okay. I'll let you off with that one. For now.
That's my understanding of it now. I might be wrong, but like there's different people even say different things about, like, the father-in-law says he's always giving out to us when we have the horses on a road on the tarmac. He's always like, get on the verge, on the grass verge, but like other people I've ridden horses with are like, don't worry about it, it's grand.
Yeah, I assumed the shoes were put on because their feet wore away from being on roads. That was kind of what, because they're not meant to be on roads. It stops their nails growing, basically. Right. That's what it is. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. There you go. Facts with Spuds. Every week we will do a new fact about many random stuff. This week it was about horses. Be thankful. Be thankful because we have a lot of other facts that you really don't want to know the answer to. I was it was a pleasure to be interviewed by Liva Valentina of Valencia yesterday for her show that'll be out on October the 31st for Halloween. But there was a bit at the end that I just want to talk about. Where she was mentioning that the kind of abuse and stuff that she gets online from, community and, well, not necessarily our community, but from people and...
From men, I bet. Men.
No, well, yes, obviously, of course, but like that's standard. That's just kind of, you assume that thing. But it's like from like Christians and stuff sending her like even death threats and, it's like to the point that she's saying she has a lawyer about this. Like she has to have to get like kind of a legal kind of... intervention with it or something. But she was like saying that she gets things where there's a particular prayer that is said that has against witches or witchcraft, and there's like a coin that's associated with it, and it's like one of those prayer mass card things that you see the saints where they have the medal.
That's witchcraft anyway.
That was literally what I said. That is witchcraft against witchcraft. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I suppose the point out of it, what I would say is just this seems to be Tommie thanks everyone, but to thank the community that I have, because I don't get anything like that. I know I'm also privileged because I'm a cis white male, all that stuff, but even friends of mine who are, cis white males get an awful lot of abuse and stuff, and, the comment section of their YouTubes or whatever are terrible. But our community's not like that at all. Like, everyone's really nice. And anyone who kind of starts that sort of stuff, is kind of, I suppose, very quickly ignored or dealt with or put in their place or something.
That's probably why. That's not probably. I don't know. I was reading something yesterday about the girls in universities in England are not girls, women. Reporting
women of
on
the internet, females, females of the internet.
It's just like highlighting the prevalence of like there's still like, it blows my mind that we still live in a time where like lads thinks it's appropriate just to grab a woman in a pub or in a nightclub, just grab them by the arse or put their hands up their skirts. So it's just like, what the fuck, like. I
think what I was going to say, the
blows
problem
my mind
is that men treat women like the way they'd like women to treat them, which is, the golden rule. But, you need the silver rule. The silver rule is more important. Treat people like the way they would like to be treated, not the way you would like to be treated. That's the problem with the golden rule, isn't it? Because you go, well, I'd like a woman to come over here and, assault me sexually. Yeah, women don't like that. So don't do that back. But, but golden rule, man. Golden rule, yeah.
That's it. But isn't that the big difference between men and women when it comes to sex? Is like men want sex to show that they're... what is it? Men want sex to show that they're in love or loved, right?
Yeah.
Women have to be loved before they give it up.
Yeah. Well, depends on the woman, depends on the man, and all that kind of stuff, and But I think in general, like it's like that's the kind of hard thing around, I suppose, with sex and relationships and stuff is kind of the needs and the wants or the things that sex means for different people are very different. It seems, it's a very, and understandably, because like one has more to lose out of the sex act than the other, and
imagine losing your cock, like fucking hell.
No, imagine you imagine if men got pregnant though. What would the world be like? It'd be so different. No one would leave the house.
Would be smaller.
No one would leave the house.
There would be less people. There would be far less people.
Yeah.
And
imagine a baby coming out penis. Oh no!
What the fuck was on today? It must have been an abortion fucking placard or something I saw around here or somewhere. Popped into my head. It's like, I don't know, abortion's such a weird thing because like isn't it that like 50% of all pregnancies end in don't come to term anyway?
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know what the figures, but it's not. Not an insignificant amount.
There's something as well that like half of all men like won't have children. Like that cuts out a huge portion of the population on both sides. But we still have 7 billion people. It's far too many people You know?
Yeah, but it's lowering. It's lowering considerably. Like as soon as you have any kind of sex education or family planning or any that kind of stuff, or you give women rights over their own body, the population drops dramatically. A lot of that to do with, like Catholic missionaries go out and, have your 11 kids, even though you can't afford to have one, but, have 11 kids. Which they did in Ireland, they did in Africa, But as soon as the kind of industrialisation of the country and, there's a bit more freedom for women have to start getting rights, then the population drops. And it's dropping mostly at the minute now. So
to go back to Lua, is it what any particular church in that's
no, she's
targeting her, or is it just randoms?
No, well, I don't know. She didn't go into much detail about it, but because she's fine, she's handling it. She's a tough girl, but it's just, it was more kind of just going how different it is for people on the internet, compared to and judging your own experience of it, I suppose, is thinking that that's what the internet is. And there was a couple of things that came up before, and I'm not going to go into specifics about it, but people on Twitter who are females, women who were having people weren't believing the abuse that I suppose they were getting behind the scenes, or even not behind the scenes, when there were certain people were being interviewed on podcasts, it'd be fine, but as soon as a woman would come on it, the level of vitriol and abuse and stuff just goes way up in the comments, and it's just so I don't know, it's just that I'm really thankful that I don't have that. But I think one of the reasons, it's not to say that one of the reasons why I don't get it compared to other men, say, I'm not saying that it's why women get it, but I can certainly see that a lot of people like to argue on the internet. I don't at all, so I don't really say anything that's too antagonistic, and I don't argue with people. So the kind of, if you're coming looking for a muck or a fight or whatever, you don't get one with me. So that kind of drops it an awful lot. And I tend to, if someone says something shitty or whatever, my response is always to respond with kindness. And that kind of shuts people up. And I think that's not to say that I think responding to anger with anger is inappropriate or you shouldn't do it. You should do whatever you want. But I'm trying to work out why why the community that we have around us, or my kind of interaction with the internet isn't as bad as I suppose other people's. And I can say one because of my, I suppose.
Do you want it to be bad? Is this what you're getting?
No, I certainly don't. And it's also, I suppose, because of the whole CMG thing that I've talked about before, where literally that I've seen the worst of the worst, and you kind of learned how to deal with people having an episode and all that kind of stuff.
I understand all about it. When I got this, one of the jobs that I do now, when I was given their social media stuff, the first week was just a nightmare for me, just dealing with.
I can imagine.
Internet people, just what the fuck is going on here? But I learned to deal with it, and now it's water off a duck's back now. And even it rarely happens, but even if I do get, I'm talking about the work social media stuff. If I do get a bit of abuse on it, I don't even acknowledge it. I just answer the question or deal with the problem as best I can, or else move it on to proper department or whatever. But just don't even thing. I get does the same thing with her Etsy stuff. People stealing her stuff, and when they abuse her, she just ignores it and say, "Look, this is my thing." Yada yada yada, whatever. I had a thing yesterday with one of the KLF guys. You remember he's not in the KLF. It was about this KLF.
Jimmy Caughey and Bill Drummond had a huge argument.
Had a fight with him on Twitter. No, nothing like that. Do you remember? Jesus, which one was it? One of the KLF films we watched, and they were talking with the Undertakers. Do you remember that one?
Are you talking about, you had an argument with Paul Dunn? Is that the director guy? Is that? Oh, he's big on Twitter.
No, it's not him. But
actually, I was going to go, really? Because he's really nice. Yeah.
No,
he's mad, but he's really nice. Yeah.
Do you remember they went to visit William Blake's grave?
The baldy sort of guy, the Undertaker.
Yeah, there's a bald guy and his wife. I think she's a blonde lady, and they're Undertakers in some part of England, right? And so I follow him on Twitter, and I retweeted one of his things because so I have to give you the story here. The KLF are not allowing a documentary to come out, and your man who is putting it out is saying, "Jesus, it's a bit rich of them not allowing me to put it out." when they made a lot of money off using people's samples stuff that they weren't allowed to use. You know what I mean? And so the reason that the KLF have said they don't want it coming out is because they don't want kind of other people using their work kind of thing. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, you used so much of other people's work. You literally went to Sweden and burnt records in front of ABBA's representatives over this, you know? And so he retweeted it, and I just said, look, I'm actually on the side of the director here. I think they should be allowed to do it for the simple reason that it's totally hypocritical. But also, I think there's more to this story than we know. I think there's, I think just Cotty and Drummond just want the control of it.
Yeah.
You know, because
they're trying to stop the documentary for another reason, and this is the only way that they can. It could be.
Maybe that's possible too. But I think with the KLF, I think everything is kind of a magical working with them. So I think that for them, for someone else to put something out, that would be against their whole ethos.
Yeah, and they're clearly not against having documentaries done about them. Or at least Bill Drummond isn't, because he's done
so many. Yeah.
Well, he's done those number with Paul Dunn and a few other ones. Like,
and he's been on like little small BBC stuff as well, like, you know.
But I don't think Jimmy Cotty hasn't really done anything. No, he has. He did that last one. Yeah, he was in it. Yeah, so
the last one. Yeah. Plus, he's doing his artwork, which is touring all over England all the time. Anyway, you know. So,
which is crazy. All the miniatures in a big what do you call them, container tank. It's class.
It's mad. Yeah. But I mean, you could see that when I was talking to your man, I think he was expecting a fight, you know, and I wasn't a fight at all. Right. I was just saying, look, and no, we basically it all happened very well. Even John Higgs liked my tweet. John fucking Higgs, Higgs. How cool is that? Like, wow, you know. John Higgs is awesome.
I think John Higgs tweeted a couple of weeks ago that if he likes someone's tweet, what he's really saying is calling them a prick. I think that's what he said.
No. It means that no. I love John Higgs. I might. Would I blow John Higgs? I might.
Spud and his continuing admittance to his bisexuality on the Tasta podcast. It's a slow burn. By the end of it, he's fully gay. Even I get the whole thing for John Higgs.
For John Higgs, yeah. So he can teach me how to write in his style. I love him. I love that man so much. He's an incredible writer, and his audiobooks are such savage. He just has such the best way of delivering the stuff he's talking about, and just joining up all the dots, and just like giving you other layers of appreciation to what you already appreciate, like, you know. Great. Love him. John Higgs, I like you.
So tell me, what was the ending that there was there people coming in going, like, what did they think's happening? That KLF are right or they're wrong, or that it's just that...
Oh, so your man, the Undertaker thinks that they're just fed up talking about the burning of the money, you know? Because, like, he said himself that he's fed up speaking, or he's fed up with people telling him that he thinks the KLF didn't burn the money in it. Well, look, from what I've seen of the different documentaries and whatever, like, you see it on their faces. They're regretting it. They are not. They are just, what are we doing? It's etched all over their faces going, we're burning a lot. Oh no.
Yeah, no, technically they could have got it back if they had the serial numbers, I assume. But I don't know. The whole thing I think is awesome. I don't want there's like, but my kind of reading it was that it was money that wasn't really theirs in a sense, because it was part of the foundation's money and they had to do something with it. And because they couldn't they couldn't buy themselves a house with it. You remember, because the previous one was where they nailed it to a board and tried to sell it for £500,000.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant, genius, and no one bought it. Which was like, why wouldn't you? But I suppose it was an interesting thing, because the value of the artwork could be more than £1 million, you know, eventually, So my kind of thing is that I think it goes, right, we can't do anything with it, we can't, you know, and we want to break up, so what do we do? Fucking burn it, you know. I think
I think they've just,
as you say, getting their souls back. Yeah, the whole take your money back.
Higgs has a bit in the book about that. No, it looks like they were buying their souls back. I mean, there's other opinions, obviously, but I think as well it's just you know, I think there was a moment when Kurt Cobain wasn't. He was very disillusioned with how Nirvana was going, and he was like, you know, I've turned into Axl Rose. You know, I've become the thing I hated. And I think that's what happened to KLF. They're like, shit, we've become pop stars.
Yeah,
Fuck.
we're rock stars. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Fuck.
We're the
No, we
enemy.
didn't want this. Yeah. So, yeah, but that's the same thing then, buying your soul back, innit? Burning the money, making this huge ritual. Jesus, but it's like you say, like, just, if you're going to go to these entities and whatever, like, maybe just go with a bicky first.
Yeah, start with the biscuit. Yeah,
And not the blood sacrifice.
Yeah, see how you get on first, you know. It's fun, yeah. But on the downside is that we're not going to get the new KLF documentary. So, I mean, I feel sad about that. Cause I was looking
but that's what I was saying to your man as well. It's like, I mean, I'd watch anything about the KLF. And I'm not even a fan of their music, you know, but I just find the two of them in the Discordian way so bloody interesting, and the hijinks of them, and yeah, they're great to keep your eye on, because fuck knows what's going to come next with them, kind of thing, you know. But
yeah. So can I do a bit of self promotion? Would you mind?
Yeah, I don't mind.
So Halloween every year, obviously, is the birthday of the 47th, and what we do on Patreon is that we have let me see if we can do it. This box here has the original servants pictures that I used to activate the servants in the beginning, in the first ritual, the kind of birth of the servitors, and I keep them in that box. And every year we put in a wishes or desires for the year, so it's kind of like a time capsule type thing. So that's kind of my bonus thing, the big thing for people who are on Patreon. So if you want in on that, and you want to put your magic statement for the year into the box, then you have to join Patreon in the next 2 weeks, because it'll be going in, it's not even 2 weeks. What is the date? Is today the 20th? So it's like 11 days. 20th.
Soon, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you're not on Patreon, you can still do this, but you can do it yourself. And I think it's a really good kind of magical act, because it involves having to do a desire that you can't take back for a year, because you're going to put it in a time capsule and bury it. So, you know, you have to really think about, do I want this? You know, this is, because it's easy to make a goal on, you know, like a New Year's declaration of, I'm going to give up smoking or whatever. But if you've, you know, you can take that back, because there's, you know, you haven't buried your wish in the world, or you haven't planted it or whatever. So it's kind of that extra kind of motivation. But all the stuff will be on the website for people who want to in on that. So that's the public service announcement for what's going on. The other thing is that the Grimoire, I'm waiting on a few things, and I think might not be out by Halloween. I'm hoping it is, but I'm also not going to rush it, because, like, you know, if it's a week late or 2 weeks after Halloween, you know, this time next year, no one cares. You know, it's only a thing. And also, geez, I'm tremendously overwhelmed with stuff at the minute. There's just so much going on that I kind of just have to.
But you could just stick a different colour cover on it and then call it a new edition. People
Peter KINGSLEY's name on it. Yeah.
Wait, what did we go? Who had 23 minutes? We've got 23 minutes.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah. Adventures in Kingsley. Tommie and Spud talk about KINGSLEY podcast.
Oh, the fucking time. Couldn't resist. Oh, cool, good. I had.
But by the way, for the people who don't know what that reference is, Peter KINGSLEY re-released Reality with a white cover rather than a black cover, and called it the second edition. It's also printed way worse, because it's a print on demand, whereas the original Reality, I don't think is. It's bound much better. Anyway, that's yeah.
It's a good book. I'm just over. Where am I? I think I'm 400 pages into the 600, but I presume the last 100 or two are lots of references and bibliographies and all that kind of stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
I can't remember. I think going by his previous.
Maybe. But there's no footnotes at all in Reality, which is enjoyable.
That's because he went rogue. And he went rogue, and he just became a new age writer, or whatever.
It's good though. It's a good book.
It's the whole strife and seduction stuff. It's an interesting kind of thing. He still has a kind of, I suppose, this is all a mistake, you know, which I'm not a fan of. But,
there's a thing I didn't write about. I had when the article I put out there yesterday, I was going to put it into it, that he has this really annoying way of writing. So it's like, say for example, he'd be like, there was a line in poetry which says, "The brick hit the boy, That's the poem, okay? And he'll say, okay, so we need to know what brick means. Brick is something made from clay and mortar, or clay and sand, and it's fired up, and what it means to everyone is it's the foundation, and it's built upon, and this is usually what a brick means, and this is what it means. Except when it doesn't mean that. Like, for fuck's sake, just tell us what it means, man.
Yeah. And all the previous scholars have only ever seen it as a brick and never its true inner foundational strength. Which is what it really meant. It's what Parmenides meant when he said brick. He actually meant the house of God. Whatever.
It's a particular style of writing which is popular with like Daily Mail and Telegraph. A lot of their longer articles that you'll find in the middle sections, they do a lot of this stuff. So I presume he's a Telegraph reader from going on this.
Right, okay.
I hope he's not a Daily Mail reader. Jeez, which is worse? Yeah. I know Daily Mail reader's worse. Look at me, all judgmental. He'd like him. It sounds like I don't, but I actually do like him, and I really like these last two books. They're really enjoyable to read, so they are. Don't agree with everything in them, but I've written about that in the blog post. I mentioned one of the things that I don't agree with, but check it out yourself.
Yeah, I'll put the show in the show description for people who want to check out Spud's latest.
I've been dipping. You can help me with this. I've been dipping my toe into something. Actually, no. I'll come back to that. Your man, what's his name? Spencer? The Crowley fellow we're talking about last week.
Stephen Skinner.
Stephen Skinner. What
Dr. Stephen Skinner.
Yeah, but is he a proper doctor, like a medical doctor, or like a book doctor?
I'd say he's a book doctor, but that's just...
Yeah, well, he's not.
I've no reason to... Well, he is. He's just not a medical doctor.
Yeah. No, he has
a PhD, yeah. So it's like, because you see sometimes when people go, rather than saying doctor, to say Tommy Kelly, PhD, you just say it to get out of that kind of thing. But I mean, the doctor is a doctor. It's just we have decided that doctor means medical doctor. But like, it's also, whatever. He's Dr. Skinner. I don't know. He's a doctor of giraffes. Who knows? Like, can you be a giraffe doctor? I want to be a giraffe doctor.
I don't. I think I'd rather have PhD behind my name rather than doctor in front of it, because I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's me. He said something in that interview. What was it? Glitch bottle? Glitch
bottle, yeah.
Glitch bottle, all right. I hadn't listened to it before, so that's why I don't know the name. He's a tough listen, isn't he? The Skinner fella, he's very... What's the word I'm looking for?
School teachery. He's like a headmastery.
Yeah. He's very like... He'd be the kind of fella that, like, if you went to a dinner party with him, he'd probably give out about the way that the knives and forks were set up on the table.
Yeah, you have to bear in mind, he's 72 as well. So, I mean, there is that. So, he's a previous generation. And I suppose, I don't know. Like, I mean, he's technically not a boomer, I suppose, if he's 72. Is he? Or is that a boomer? I don't know.
I don't like using these American terms, man. We're not boomers on this side of the water. You know?
He makes it interesting. I know, none of that, or even the political divides are not the same. But he's an interesting one. If anyone wants to read his introduction to Crowley's book 4, if you download the sample from Kindle, it has the entirety of his introduction, and it's worth reading.
I need to get it. You were telling me. I want to, because what he talks about in the podcast is quite good. I wish there had been a bit more about the book rather than being a question and answer thing. But he said something that interested me, in that he said, you're either a mystic or a magician, and he says it seems that he's kind of making the claim that Thelema doesn't work because it's a mixture of the two without being either.
Right, it's happening. Yeah, but I suppose the problem with that, in a sense, is that book 4 does separate them completely. Like, it does separate the mysticism and the magic. I think he says this doesn't work as a religion; it's a failed religion. I'm not quite sure, and I don't want to speak for him. But that's kind of what I remember from it. He doesn't speak an awful lot about the actual book in that interview, though, doesn't he? He speaks more generalities about Crowley and stuff. And most of the listener questions are from people who are his contemporaries. So there's Jake Stratton Kent and Aaron Leach and stuff, who would be quite well-known authors in their own right as well.
Aaron Leach has a question on it, does he? I didn't know.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Really?
The first question is there.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's like a whole load of mates fucking.
I know,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I would have preferred a more... But that seems to be... Because I also listened to the Josephine McCarthy interviews on Glitch Bottle, and I haven't listened to much else. And it's an awful lot of questions asked by people. So there's no real, in a sense, the flow of the conversation is quite stilted, because it's like, right, they're getting into an area, and then it's go, and now Jim wants to know, what did Crowley think of fishing? And you're going, like, well, we were talking about, demons being part of your brain. I know it's important that we know about Crowley's fishing habits, but can we have it a bit more?
Then, have I? So in book 4, then it is about unifying the two things. The first one, and it's the first one is on yoga, on meditation. So he did like that kind of right. Okay, so my understanding? What Skinner is saying is probably the same kind of divide that you have, wrongly, but it's how we understand it, between high and low magic, where he would say there's magic, which is to get the stuff, and then there's mysticism, which is to ascend or to become one, or whatever it is that you're ascending towards, and that so it's that high-low thing on magic versus mysticism, and he seemed like, I can't really remember his exact kind of thing. You probably listed it closer to me, but is he saying that he doesn't think Crowley has that? Because he certainly does. There's the whole magic element of it, and there's the mystical element of Crowley. But I don't know. Can you remember what he said? I don't remember exactly what I said, but he just kind of said you can either be a mystic or a magician. You can't be both.
I don't agree with that. I'd say that the mystic uses magic. It's.
Well, I mean, isn't the whole thing like, okay, to put like Baptist Head kind of their way of looking at it was that, you become a magician, and the better you are as a magician, then you'll become a mystic. Am I right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends. Like, it depends on your kind of. Like, from a chaos magic point of view, that wouldn't be it, because a chaos magic point of view.
No, but I meant the Baptist Head lads. The Baptist Head lads.
I think so. I think so. That the like Alan Chapman's definition of magic is the experience of truth. So therefore, it's the revelation of truth, and that's the whole kind of So he would see magic as mysticism, I suppose. Whereas other people would see that there's a separation between it, where it's the magic, and I suppose is the thing that you do that is kind of earthbound, in a sense, to get the stuff, to get the job, to get the thing. Whereas mysticism is to leave, to see this as an illusion or something. But you kind of, I would say you need both, because of course you need both. Because you have to live in this world, even if you think it's an absolute dream illusion of no significance, you still have to, pay your tax. You still have to do these things. You still have to, But I don't know. I'd have to listen to it. I'd have to listen to it again. But he's very, very kind of strong opinions about what magic is. Like, he doesn't believe. He thinks the psychological model of magic is bunk. Like it's not anything to do with magic. He says it can be quite helpful and it can get you things, but it's not magic, and it's nothing to do with magic. And that's a very new thing that has happened. To the kind of up until the late 19th century, the spirit model was the only model of magic, and it's this kind of 20th century thing post that has kind of decided that it's because it's coming from the Enlightenment, and it's coming from the scientific approach. And Crowley had a scientific approach, the aim of religion, the method of science, and all that. Or is it the other way around? I always confuse though.
The aim is religion, the method of science.
Science, yeah. So it's a. I don't know. I don't really know an awful lot about Stephen Skinner, because I'm not mad into the Solomonic stuff. But I know he's well respected, and he has 6 million books. But I didn't get that new one. This one right, yeah. I want to know, which is the Techniques of High Magic, which is his kind of print on demand, I suppose, early book. So, but
surely there's a lot of mystical stuff in that, though. I'm not really. I'm the same as you. I'm I don't know how you can have one without the other. However, this kind of comment jumped out at me, because it's my personal experience is that the mystical stuff, not that it comes easy, but that's where I've had success. Magic, fucking none.
Yeah, but you haven't
You know.
done an awful lot of it though either, have you? In fairness, though, it's not something that
I don't know. I've tried this and that and the other, and it's kind of like, but as well, it's just me. It's kind of like, I just have a natural resistance to cloaks, daggers, wands, scepters, candles, yada yada yada. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
But like sitting down and talking to God, oh yeah, I can do that. That's grand.
Yeah, but I suppose that then what's your... Would you then think that your day-to-day living experience or whatever is just kind of, in a sense, out of your control, and that you've no kind of say in it other than the actions that you can perform in a kind of mundane way? Like, do you think that it's a separate thing that you have no say in? Am I making that question clear enough?
No. Say it again.
Okay, so, right.
Confused.
So you can talk to God and you can have the mystical experiences and you can do meditation and, you can do all that. But do you feel that you have no way of influencing the actual physical world in like what magic is the low magic sense of increasing your wealth, increasing your happiness?
I was thinking this yesterday, walking a dog, and I was going, well, okay, like if I can influence my material reality, by doing magic, hold on now, I have to think about this properly. Because I think that, like, well, no, think about it. The first answer that comes to mind is yes, right?
Yeah.
But there's a but in there somewhere, isn't there? There's something that I have a hang up on, or something.
But because is it the Catholic thing of "but I shouldn't do it"? Is it that?
No. It's not that. It's
that the way things are the way things are, and I should.
No. I don't have that. No, I don't have that, because I do. I am a person who is what's the proactive. I want to change my situation if I don't like it, kind of thing. I mean, I don't have to put on cloaks and talk whatever. I don't know if I'm explaining this properly. It's just.
But right, if you don't want to put on the cloaks, the candles, the incense, and all that kind of thing, what would Spud Magic look like then?
For me, it's just meditation.
But that's mysticism. Say, let's in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what would your magic look like if you've your mysticism sorted?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't. Not there's. Okay, I'll put it this way. Nothing that I have looked in on as of yet really has spoken to me.
Right.
Nothing.
Okay.
You know, like the Golden Dawn stuff. Yeah, all right, it's kind of cool, but Jesus Christ, who has half an hour every day to do a banishing rituals? I don't, and I never will, and I don't want to either. Do you know?
Yeah. Banishing rituals is about literally less than 2 minutes to do, though. In fairness.
Yeah, but you got to do the pentagram one, then the hexagram one, and then and it's like, for fuck's sake, lads, it's taking an hour down my day. Like, I'd rather meditate and talk to angels or God or whoever, you know. And so there's that, but there's also like, okay, so you know this, and anyone that's active on the Discord will know I've been dipping my toe in the Enochian stuff for the last week or two, trying to get my brain on it and say, right, well, Spud, if you're going to do some angel stuff, you know, go to the source here and look up and learn about John D. and Kelly.
Yeah. Go to the stuff that ruins people's lives. Yeah, go to that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I think that there's an earlier grimoire of Honoris, or whatever it's. That looks fairly interesting, but that's not really angel. That's God, isn't it? But
I don't know much about it. Stephen Skinner has one, hasn't he? A version of it out.
Yeah, so. Apparently John D had this book, and it's where he got his... Holy shit, I was supposed to write Amazon there, and I wrote Demon. What the fuck happened there?
Brilliant. That's exactly it. Yeah. You've uncovered the truth. Amazon.de.
Amazon.de I was supposed to put.
Yeah.
You fucking weirdos, but let me look on my list here, because I have it in the list of son of a bitch. Where's my wish list? What's an idea wish? What the fuck are these things?
Oh, like house ideas. Yeah, that would appear in my thing as well.
How am I not signed in? What the fuck is wrong with you, you stupid bastard?
Because you've signed up to Demon shipping and not Amazon.
No, I'm not giving you my phone number. Get the fuck out of here. Where's my wish list? My wish list. I wish I was a new trombone.
Thanks for joining us on this wonderful podcast where we look at Spud as he tries to log into Amazon to find out.
Ridiculous, huh? What the hell is going on here? No, this is all in Polish now, not in German.
Maybe we should start editing these podcasts, man.
Here it is. Yeah, the Sworn Book of Honorius.
Yes.
Honorius.
Is that David Rankin?
No, Joseph Peterson.
Oh, yes.
And Honorius of Thebes.
Joseph H. Peterson, not to be confused with Jordan.
Jordan Peterson. Yeah, so I was having a look at that book and the Enochian and stuff. And right, I haven't explained myself properly with the thing on Discord. It's kind of like, look, I want to get to the results. I don't not that I don't want to do the work to do it, but I don't.
But I don't want to do the work to do it.
You know what, I'm just saying that. I think your man Kelly is full of shit, basically, right?
Okay.
I think John D, okay, I can see what he's doing. I like his cut of his jib. I think Kelly is just making shit up as he went along. Getting involved in the politics, king's courts, wife swapping, yada, yada, yada. Fuck off, all right? That has nothing to do with the angels that I know, all right? Okay. That I have experienced, okay? So I want to know as much as I can about the kind of the lore of this and what it is without the LARPing of doing exactly what John D.
The problem is that John D. Didn't have access to any of that stuff without Kelly. It was Kelly who it all came through. So if you're looking for what John D. thought, it was like, I can't do any of this. So
yeah.
So
see, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is as well? Let me explain this because this came up yesterday. The thing of the traditional left and right hand path, right? So I watched the
traditional, perhaps, yeah.
Okay, well, I was
the lie that is the left hand, right hand path dichotomy. Yes, okay, yes. Let's talk about that.
Well, maybe not, right? But it was a funny sync. I was looking up this stuff, and then a Joe Campbell video, a very short one, just popped up on one of the feeds, and he was talking about what the left hand path is. What we think it is and what it actually is. So the right hand path is basically you stay in your village, you become a good citizen, you live your life, you become someone, you achieve what you set out to do, and you have a nice life. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then there's the left hand path where you're like, no, I need to do this myself. I need to get away from the village. I need to find my own way, plough my own furrow, and then I'll return to the village with the thing. Now, people would say, well, I'm doing that. I'm doing the left-hand path because I'm into ceremonial magic. I'm into chaos magic. I'm into this. Yeah, but you're still following the what do you call it? The path within that. You know what I mean? And that's, for me, I have to say, only for me. For me, if I was to sit down and do the calling of the aethers or doing the stuff as the way that John did do it, that just won't fucking work for me. Because for me, I'm doing exactly what he did. That won't work. I just know going into it won't work. Won't work.
But why?
I know it won't work. It's the
just
same
because
as like
you have to change something for you. Like you can't do something that's previously been done. Is that stuff?
Well, okay. Could you have been in a cover band when you were playing music?
I did for a number of years, yeah.
Yeah, and you loved that, didn't you?
Oh, well, it was fine. It was grand, but it's not what I wanted to do. But it was
exactly,
fine. I paid the bills.
That's
and
it.
A great
that's it.
Yeah.
And not in an aggressive way. That came off. Yeah. That came off worse than. That sounded worse than what I meant to Tommie.
It's definitely better than being a sound engineer. Jesus Christ, much better.
No, but it's like you learn to play guitar. You learn all the chords. Yada yada. Beatles, Led Zeppelin. You learn, and then you're like, the fuck am I doing playing other people's music? I want to play my music.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, but you come across though sometimes as saying that I'm not going to learn D, G, and C because D, G, and C are what other people do, and I'm going to make up all my own chords. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, that's not what I want though. Like I want to learn the D and Kelly stuff, the other stuff, and then say right, okay. Yeah. How can I put all these things together that will work for me?
Well, I'd say the way I would say, given this music analogy, is that learning some of this stuff is learning music theory, and then you can either do a cover version or you can make your own thing out of it. But you maybe you come across, I'm not saying this is what it is, but you come across saying I'm not learning music theory because I want to do my own thing. rather than the cover version.
No. You have to learn the theory. And I agree with you. You do. You have to. Obviously, you need to know what all the notes in the key of D. You know, you do. You have to, and you'll write better songs because of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically my problem. Is that I am too left-hand pad for my own fucking good.
Well, left-hand pad well, that's not really left-hand pad. Left-hand pad is going through doing the taboo stuff and doing the.
This is Joe Campbell's. This is Joe Campbell's.
The kind of left-hand, right-hand pad stuff we have, I suppose, now is the right-hand pad is that you return to God. That's your mission. The left-hand pad is you become your own God, which is the same as I'm leaving the village or I'm staying in the village. But the original kind of left-hand pad was that it's true, rather than through goodness and bliss and happiness and joy and stuff that I return to the divine. It's through shit and depression and death and the darkness and the evil and the stuff that I'll discover the divine. Which is very different from just leaving the village and going, I'm going to be in a cover band or not, whatever it is. But that's why these things are kind of somewhat helpful because we know what we're on about. And there is that kind of feel that people think that left-hand pad versus right-hand pad is I'm doing my own thing versus I'm doing what I'm told. And it's not. That's not really it. You know, you know. But it's handy. These things, like, once we're aware that, you know, like same as like with karma and stuff, that once we're aware that we have the wrong interpretation of karma, it's good to be able to use it because when I say it in that kind of context, you understand what I'm talking about. So in the context of like kind of left hand, right hand pad, I know what you're on about, you know, and you can get kind of bogged down in, but left hand, right hand pad means that. So we're probably better off not explaining it in that way.
Probably, man. Probably.
And I suppose what you're actually saying is rather than your left hand pad, is you're too much of a chaos magician in that, rather that you're too much want to do your own thing, that your own spin on it, you want it to be personalised to you. You know, you don't want to do someone else's.
Yeah, that's it. See, you know what? I think as well, it's that shadow, it's the confidence shadow of being like too. You're not confident enough to do things as. Is it a confidence thing? Is that it? Or it's just kind of like, don't like being told what to do.
That's it. I tell you, like, I mean, there's a huge element of that in life and all that. And it's, I have it as well. I don't like to do, but I also, and I have that with KINGSLEY. And like a lot of the stuff that annoys me about him, what are we now? 46 probably. Yeah, 46. Well, every 23 minutes we talk about KINGSLEY. In that I have some of the stuff I don't want to accept or I don't like because of, he's telling you, don't tell me how to think, and there's like, but I also have to come back and go, right, hold on, that you can't throw all this out just because of the attitude of the person saying it or the kind of a thing that it, because it throws you back to your dad or your school or whatever it is, or some sort of previous relationships. I definitely had to deal with kind of that, but there's also, I'm also aware that I don't know what I don't know, and there's that kind of thing that at some point that someone else might know something I don't know, and to kind of like, so what you're saying, I suppose it would be best explained this way. What do you mean then exactly that you want the John D stuff, but you don't want to do what John D did? So what you want to, what are you looking for then, I suppose? Because maybe I'm just not understanding exactly what your needs and wants are in this situation.
I just want to have a chat with what's above me.
Without doing what is traditionally done to do that.
Well, I don't want to have to talk in tongues and, all that kind of stuff. I don't mind, like, I can make the little God sigil, whatever.
Then why deal with Enochian at all? Like, it's like, I want to do Enochian without doing Enochian. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't want...
That's exactly what I want, yeah.
Then don't hang around with John D.
But is there an alternative way of doing it?
There's loads of, like, if you want a really simple, very kind of straightforward, with no mess around, get Damon Brand's 72 Angels book. That's exactly what you're looking for. Like, there's
does it work?
Works for loads of people. Yeah, people are a lot of thing with it. Foolish Fish, big fan of Damon Brand and the stuff. I actually watched the video.
Really? Because I saw his name come out. I don't know much about him, but like, it's just
people don't like Damon Brand because it makes it. Not
publishes so much.
Well, he doesn't. It's only 6 books or something he has. Like that's not a tremendous amount of books he has. Like there's other people have loads of books. Like Skinner has 180 million.
Oh, he has more than that, Tommie. What's his name? Damon what?
Damon Brand. Now, don't get mixed up with Gallery of Magic, which there's a number of people gathered in a particular.
Oh, is he not the same thing as them? Because he has like
Yes,
magic
but he's
and stuff
part.
like that.
Yeah, but it's like they're not all his books. You know, it's a collective.
I see.
But it's
Okay,
still
I
not
didn't
that
know
many books. It's probably 10 at most, I would say.
What have I got here? 4, 8, 11, 12, 14.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, it's not. Is that all Damon Brand or is that all Gallery of Magic?
They're all by his name, yeah. I found it on 15. Oh, no, that's a repeat. Oh, yeah, okay, 14. That's just nothing.
Yeah. No, like I mean, yeah. Like
Okay, no, okay.
Definitely a couple of people who have 40, 50 books and they're all 100 pages. And the thing I read the Holy Guardian Angel one this week that he did. And it's one of those, he's one of those people, one of those writers who spend the first half of the book telling you what he's going to tell you about, what this book is about. And then he tells you, and then he tells you again what it was. You know, but I mean, that's a standard kind of college kind of way of writing things. But the actual bits are fine. They're good. And, it's kind of, it's not him making up stuff. It's him looking at, say, New Avatar Power, or the Holy Guardian Angel stuff and going, well, what's the most simplest way of doing it that still works? You know, with the thing. What can we get rid of? What is important? What is here? I mean, you'll read it in, a night, so you'll know whether or not it works. It didn't work for me, but Angels and me don't really have kind of any. I was
reading something fairly good as well about like why, instead of looking at like hierarchies of like angels and demons as a, the normal hierarchy, we think of a triangle, like angel and God on top and demons kind of below and us somewhere in the middle kind of thing. Instead, she was saying that like, no, look, think of it as a flat circle, and like we're on one edge of it, and the angels are over there, and the demons are over there, and we're all connected to each other. Oh yeah, we're all connected to each other, but she said there's an evolution element involved in that, like the higher self, the angels, they're over there. We can still get to them. They're just a bit far away, and the demons are closer. Yeah. But she also said like the demons are for. I don't remember.
Cook, look to your Amazon list. Did you ever read Rupert Sheldrake's book on Angels?
A girl called Sheeta K. Sagtakeay. It's just from a blog. So it was. I still have it open here.
You should check out Rupert Sheldrake's. He's a book on angels too that you might find interesting, but it's very much from a kind of a heterodox Christian point of view. Yeah,
no, I've listened to it. He it's like an interview thing with a Christian. They both answer questions on it, don't they?
The guy who narrates it is actually okay because he does both voices quite well, but it's just very odd. It is odd. It's very odd to listen to. He puts on this American. He puts on this English accent. I am Rupert Sheldrake. Great. Just in for the Lon Milo, the cat stuff on the Enochian stuff's good. I've doing the Aethers or Aethers.
Yeah, I started reading that. It seems pretty good, like.
Yeah, when we were doing, there was a Discord set up as part of the Magia splinter group. At one point to describe the Aethers. I'm sure I talked about it on the podcast around the big thing we did on the 21st of December. Well, we described one ourselves, but it doesn't really work for me. But I don't know. I did a few of them years ago, and I kind of got something. But the last time I tried, didn't do anything. And I'm quite good at journeying, I can get the active imagination going. There's literally nothing there. But the kind of rule with it is you can only scry as far as you're advanced. So if I can't get to 30, then, oh well. There's a certain level that you can only get to. Duncan has his book, all of him scrying them as well. I don't know if it's still available. I have it over there right now. He might put it back in print. But it's like... It's kind of like reading someone's dream journals. I think there's an element of this that's going to be personal to you as well. There was a great video years ago of the two boys, Alan and Duncan, scrying the Aethers, as we would say here. Very funny. That's the Star Ruby one that he does. Yeah. But other than that, I'd like Angels. I don't know. I got into Lucifer for a while. He can't But it's not really
That's
something
another
I
thing. Like,
gravitate
is there really any much point of doing it other than shits and giggles kind of thing? Because I don't want to do it for shits and giggles.
Yeah, well, then, what are you looking for out of it? I suppose. What's your goal?
I have cosmological questions.
Right.
That's basically it. Really, like why?
Yeah.
Why? Well, not why we're here. I think I know why we're here, and that's for another time, maybe.
Okay.
Just what's going on? What's this thing? Like what's this karma stuff? And is it to everyone? Okay, it's to everyone. Okay, what about why is this? So they looked up water a while ago, yeah, and water is clear. Everyone knows that. However, they found that like if you do put it up to a thing, it's like 0.000000001% blue. Why? I want to know that.
But then why angels? Why do you think angels would have that answer? Being that they're celestial beings.
They know everything, don't they? I don't know. They know everything. It's just that I think I have questions that books can't fucking answer, and I'd like to know a bit more.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I'm saying why angels and not like the particular actual.
God, sure, who else?
Well, there's all there's the goetic spirits who are particularly that are for exactly this, for finding out these type of informations, for for gaining wisdom on different topics and stuff like that.
Right. I'm just scared of them, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tried the Simonomicon. There's the 50 names of Marduk. There's very particular ones that you could approach to talk about the things. Like even down that there's ones for gardening and stuff like that. It's that kind of level of if you need someone to help you with your garden, you can go and have a very particular goetic spirit or Simon Necronomicon spirit. I know, but there's like, is it the Ars Notoria that has the 72 demons then with the 72 angels and they're kind of correlated and stuff like that? That might be worth looking into. I'm not sure if it is. I wonder, like,
that's a question I would ask. I'm like, okay, so like that book, is that like, are you two different sides of the same coin? Is that what you are? And I want a yes no fucking answer. Get
a black mirror, get a crystal ball, do some proper scrying that way as well.
But the problem is, Tommie, and no one's going to have the answer for this. It's like when you get when you ask questions and stuff like that. I mean, come on. I mean, this Kelly fella asked questions of an angel, and he's like, "Yeah, just go swap wives," because it's like.
Yeah, I know, but it's easy to say, but that's not the context that's in. And it's easy. And neither of them wanted to do it, and it was the end of their relationship, and it was a horrifying experience for everyone involved. But it's easy to
even the angels left. There's just, I mean, what? Oh.
Yeah, but it's kind of a thing to look at, that they're so removed from this kind of place that they don't seem to understand exactly how it works. But also told them loads of things that were wrong and just didn't add up, and they were told, and like there was parts of where they were pleading with them and just send me some money, and no, it's that's not our function
it's
or
not what we do.
Thing. And it's like it's an interesting story, but it's more, I think, a precautionary tale. Just fucking stay away from them.
Yeah. I feel a bit like Jesse Custer in Preacher. Just be like, look, I have words, I have questions, and I want fucking answers. All right.
Yeah. Personally speaking, I would quicker go to a goetic demon or do the goetia stuff than I would get involved in the Enochian stuff. I know of no stories that go well with the Enochian stuff. So dealing with it actual, not just the...
Okay, so, but like doing it the other way, the newer way, the Damon, what's his name, Damon Brand way, that...
Yeah, but it's not Enochian.
People's experience of that.
Yeah, it's a fairly...
But it's still the same things, isn't it?
Not really, no.
Same angels,
it's Shem Hemferesh, the angels of the Shem Hemferesh, whereas the Enochians seem to be a very completely different system. Check it out, read it yourself, and you'll see. Like, I mean, I'd say it's not my area of stuff. Like, so.
This is a problem with all this stuff. It's like there's so many cosmologies and so many systems. Like okay, well, whoa, because then like half of me is like thinking, right, maybe I should just go back to like really the earliest grimoires, which is like this Honoris one. Whatever it was called, whatever, it's gone now. Of course it's fucking gone, isn't it, Spud? You moron. What did I say the name was? Red cover. Yeah, the Sworn Book of Honorius. Like that, like, John Dee is supposed to have that. And like even his God Sigil Deus, Sigillus Deus, or whatever the fuck it was called, like an earlier version is in this. And he had that and updated it with his or with
Yeah.
Kelly and the Angels or whatever. So it's like, okay,
And
so
then
maybe
Golden
go back
Dawn
there.
changed it yet again. And
You know, like you know, I wouldn't mind, like, if it says something, right, this book is a 72-day working. At the end of it, you know, something cool will happen. I don't mind putting the time in.
I definitely recommend. I'm going to recommend the Damon Brand book for you. I think it's actually what you're looking for. So
Okay, fair enough then.
and a good kind of one to kind of test it to see see what you think of Damon Brand. I did it. It didn't work for me. That's what I can say, and I did it right. But I know people who I respect and trust and aren't bullshitting and aren't saying things to impress me or anything like that, or genuine thing, who have done it and to great success. So that's all I can say.
Thanks, Tommie.
Yeah.
This is, you're such an oracle of wisdom. I love you. Tommie. You're just the best.
Thanks very much, man.
Fucking arm, man. I love you, man. You're great.
Yeah.
You know?
And I am a goetic demon you've been dealing with for the last 10 years. You called me up. I am booty. Here's some money.
Here's some.
And you're now addicted to me, and you need me for all things. Part of your life. So to put the call out as well, like, that's my recommendation for Spud. What do the listeners think? I'm not really, as I say, I'm not really an angel man. So maybe there's perhaps someone who could steer you in a better way. But like I say, you'll read the Damon Brand in about an hour or so, and it has all the angels in it. It has the rituals, how to do it. It has the sigils, the seals, and it has it in a very kind of safe, non-messing with Enochian stuff that you probably shouldn't. Not you probably should do whatever you want. That I wouldn't necessarily. Although Lon Milo the Cat is supposedly a great kind of lecture series on it that I might check out.
Right.
Again, recommended by people who I trust. And,
Yeah, no, they do. Anyone, get in touch with me, whatever, Facebook, Discord, wherever it is, and say, right, Spud, this is what you need. Because I think that's the thing, is that I'm kind of shooting into the dark. I don't really know what I need, because, like, it's just, I've had tons of these mystical experiences, and meditation is great and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just like, I would like to know a bit, like, it's kind of like reading a book, but you don't know the name you don't know the title of it. You know, like, what is this I'm involved with, and actually, and who are you, and where
that's
do you...
my thing, and people have said to me before, because I go, I want to know why. That's, the exact thing. So why? Like, well, how do I know? If you don't know the rules of the game, how do you know how to play it? How do you know how to win? That kind of stuff. And you go, oh, just go with it. Because no, I actually want to know. So I understand your drive and your need and the yearning in it, or whatever. So when you do find out, answer in a postcard, send them straight to me. I go, the secret is the moon is jelly. and it steals your smiles.
Thanks, Tommie, for listening to me ramble there for a good half an hour.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Will we go into these two documentaries, because we're kind of
yeah.
We're coming up to our Peter Kingsley mention, so we better change some. So this week we watched two documentaries. Reason being that the first one that we watched, we didn't think we'd have an awful lot to say about it. Not that it was, well, the documentary's not particularly good, but the subject is interesting. And it's on the highly sensitive person. It's called Highly Sensitive, The Untold Story. And the other one is, what's it called? The Land of Swimming Cows? Or
I wrote it down here. The Village of Swimming Cows.
That's it, yeah. The Village of Swimming Cows, which is a load of German twats go to a farm in Poland and try to tell them that they're doing everything wrong. That's unfair, but it's also true.
I should try and pronounce the Polish name, shouldn't I? Me living in Poland. Wieś is a oh my God, I'm going to make an absolute pig's ear of this. Wieś pływają, okay. Wieś pływaczek, no, that's wrong. Wieś pływających krów. Okay.
Yes,
That's awful.
Farm.
Wieś is a village. Krów is cows.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And pływa is swim. Pływających. Oh my God.
Duolingo with Spud.
Me now. I can't read Polish. I can speak it not too badly, but I can't read it.
What about like road signs and stuff like that? No, yeah.
I know road signs just from driving and making previous mistakes, like crashing trains and stuff. Hey, one time I panicked and I actually jumped out of my car when it was on rails one time. It was my first time driving, and that was fun. I just went, panicked, jumped out of the car, and then there's no trains, it's fine. Got back in the car.
Nice one. Which one do you want to talk about?
Look,
HSP. Yeah.
This was
I'll tell you how I first heard about it. Was Spud sent me a questionnaire and said, "I think this is you. Do the questionnaire." And I got highly sensitive about it. And so
you did, yeah.
Maybe I should look at this. Yeah, so it's
fuck you, Spud. I'm not doing your survey. You fucking dickhead. You don't know me.
In fairness, while it's very cliche and true, I was also having a bad day. But it was quite funny, in that I got very sensitive about being called a sensitive person, which. Says it all, really, in fairness. So the highly sensitive person is a kind of an idea that has been come from a number of different psychologists and doctors. One of them is called Gary Lineker, which was very strange because I know Gary Lineker is as a name, and even when I was watching it with Vanessa, she went, "Oh look, Gary Lineker." I thought that was just me. Gary Lineker was a footballer with ears who advertised crisps. It's probably how you would describe it. But so a number of people were looking for a reason why certain people seem to have a harder time, I suppose, or things seem to hit them a bit harder, or they seem to function in a different way than other people. And it was initially looked at to go, well, maybe this is just introversion. This is a part of the introversion that Carl Jung would have come up with. But then in the studies, it was found very quickly that it was both introverts and extroverts that were displaying this highly sensitive person type thing. And they reckon it's about 20% of the population have this equally spread between men and women, where it is a kind of the person seems to be aware of more things, or at least takes more stuff on board about the surroundings, and processes more than what the normal person processes, and therefore can become easily overwhelmed. But also has the positive side of they're really good leaders because they're very aware of people's feelings and the atmospheres in rooms and stuff like that. They're very creative, and but it's found it tough because if you have a situation where you have a highly sensitive kid, and you shame them, it makes it worse for them. But it's very obviously because shame's never good, but it really exacerbates the situation. Whereas it's really easy to bring them out of their shells and to kind of support it. And when they support it, it can be a really, really good thing and a very necessary thing for society. But you talk now.
Spoken enough about angels. People are bored of me. Look, I mean, I wanted to know more about this because obviously herself has it or is one. You don't have it. You are. HSP.
Yeah, because the point making on it is that it's not it's not like a syndrome's the wrong word. It's not it's a trait rather than something that you're meant to get over.
Yeah, it's a trait. It's like having blue eyes. That's all it is.
It's just what it is. It's a personality trait or a psychological
it's personality
trait.
Characteristic. And like since Aga found out she is, I have learned to not totally 100%, but I think I'm better. Yeah, I think I'm a better husband to her since maybe, because it's like you just learn a bit. Okay, I see now what's going on here. Take a step back, kind of thing, Well, I hope maybe she probably disagrees. she's looking at her screen, going, "Shut the fuck up!"
Well, one of the quite shocking things, because I remember when we were talking about Origin before we watched the documentary, you have to sign up to Gaia if you want, but there's a free trial. Like, God, Gaia is a very strange thing. But we had come across before, and when you sent me the test, and I was going, yeah, but everyone's like this. And you're going like, no.
No.
And that was the kind of problem with the documentary in one sense, because I watched it twice. I was kind of go, yeah, obviously, yeah. What? And it's like, no, Tommie, people don't think like this.
Yeah, one of the big ones.
That's the experience that other people have.
I think
because
one
you
of
were
the big
saying,
ones is
because I was
that-
saying to you, because one of the questions was, sorry for interrupting you, but one of the questions was, if someone else in the room with you was in bad form,
That's what I
would
was
you
gonna
be in
bring
bad
up.
form? And I was like, yeah, of course. And you were like, no. You
Yeah,
know,
no,
not at all.
Yeah. That's the big one. I think that's one of the clinchers, is that if you walk into a room and say someone you know is in bad form, and that immediately puts you in bad form, then you're HSP. Whereas, like, if I walk into a room and someone's in a bad form, that's your fucking problem, buddy. That has nothing to do with me. Unless I put you in bad form. And even if I did put you in bad form, it's still your fucking reaction, so it's on you. You know?
Yeah. But that's so strange, because I just assumed, no, that's how people are. That's what it is. And it's like, no, not at all.
No, not at all.
I remember Ben said it to Finesse. He goes, yeah, you definitely do that. But no, that's not what it is. But it's kind of that. And the other thing I noticed about is that I'm always aware of, say you're in company, if people, I can immediately know when someone feels uncomfortable, because I start feeling uncomfortable. You know, that you know, it's like kind of, so I have to go, all right, obviously Anita is feeling left out of the conversation here, and so no one's noticing that or something, and it can kind of become, I suppose, because you're aware of the. I always thought, though, it was because I know when I'm in that situation what it's like, and it's more empathy or something.
Yeah,
but I suppose
it's empathy.
yeah. But that, you get very quickly into this whole kind of new age empath stuff, which, I'm an empath or whatever. And kind of go, no, you're not.
Sure, yeah.
You're just a highly sensitive person. Maybe. That or
and do you get much of the overstimulation stuff that they talk about?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Because for
like,
me, when I
dangles the keys in front of that makes me wince. Yeah. It's like, don't do that.
Because for me, right, when I hear overstimulation, I think it's kind of like a kid has had a sugar rush, and then it's the kind of come down. But actually, overstimulation is kind of like the fight, flight, or flee, and it's the fight, flight, or freeze. Now, flee and flight is the same. There's too many F's there. Fight but it's this kind of freeze. It's that this is too much for me. I need to be on my own. So it's actually flight and freeze then. I need time alone. I need to, what's the word when you people get the bends and they put them in those decompression tanks. They need to decompress, You get that, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely get that. And it's like one of the hardest things is that, say you're on the phone and someone's talking in the room, good luck, my brain just explodes. I can't deal with it. I have a limit. I can do two things. I can have two kind of, like I can be cooking, and I can, talk to Vanessa. But say the wee man comes up and asks me a question, then can't. It's just my brain just goes at that. No, there's too much, because I have it in me that I need to give each of these things the equivalent attention, and obviously I can't. Now, some of that's born out of trauma too, like, so that it's that you feel you're going to get in trouble if if two people are talking to you at the same time, like, and you have to go, I have to make a decision here who I'm going to insult by listening to the other person. Only that's really intense, because you kind of go, I understand you. But the noise thing, certainly that the noise, I've said noise feels like anger, and it just makes me, I can't think. When you're reversing and you have to turn off the radio so you can see. That thing. It's like a really heightened sense of that, where I have to switch off the world in order to understand who I am. Yeah. But it's. I'm glad. It's like same thing when I kind of understood when I did those Myers-Briggs personality tests, and it kind of gives you a glimpse into going, oh, hold on, all of these things that I've been told my entire life that I have to get over are actually just who I am, and there's a kind of relaxation into it. So I got the same when I came aware of that. I go, right, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just who I am, and it obviously doesn't mean that I don't have to find ways of dealing with it, or or working in the world, or in the same way with any kind of trait or whatever. But to understand that it's not something I have to get over is
of course, I don't have to change this, because this is who I am.
What I am.
This is like having blue eyes.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing growing up. The whole, and it is mentioned in the documentary. An awful lot have been told I was acting like a girl, which is why I have, and which is an insult to girls, obviously, because if if you're sensitive, then you're thing. But it's also why I have that huge reaction to the man up thing, because it's like that. So it's the because coming from all that, there was an awful lot of feeling more comfortable hanging around, I suppose, with in the company of girls. All my friends in my circle were all kind of, at school, I'd hang around with more girls than fellas, just because I found it easier to be in that, that it wasn't the kind of, I suppose, it was less stimulating. It wasn't an attraction thing. Like, it wasn't that I was I'll be a player, and I wasn't that cool at all. But it's kind of, that makes all sense of all of these things. Whereas that what was kind of applied to then was, well, maybe he's gay, or all that. It's kind of, no, I'm just this thing, And had I known that, I think it would have made my life an awful lot easier, and been able to explain to people, nope, that's not what it is,
Right. Like, for me, it was like, I remember, like, being a young lad, and like, kind of like, you'd hear old ones, whatever, they'd be at their house for tea, or they'd be at yours, or whatever, and one of them make, my nerves are at me today. That's the way I kind of see it. It's a bit like that, and it's a bit derogatory, but it also is that.
Yeah. There's definitely. Yeah, well,
like,
I mean, it leads to, it's like that. What I get from people that is that I'm anxious. There's an anxiety level. My nerves are at me. Like, and like, obviously this stuff leads to anxiety and depression, like, a lot, because it's like, if you watch, it's like watching the Ethiopian ads that you had plastered all over the telly as we were growing up with the starving kids, and it, and someone go, oh, that's really, that's sad, something should be done, whereas it devastates other people their day is different, and you can't get out of it, and so I
think as well, it's like what came across for me in the doc is that, like, there seems to be there actually seems to be more pros than cons to having this.
If you are in in a fostering type environment, it's definitely. I'm not. The only reason I can do any of the creative stuff I can do is because of this. Like, that's the trade-off, and like, I mean, it's obvious in so many, artist stories or writers and stuff. Like, why are all writers alcoholics? Jesus Christ, I mean, for God's sake, or so many musicians, and it's all a kind of a way of thing. But I don't think it would go away. Any of that stuff would go away if they had a proper, if we had this kind of knowledge of this in society. Like, we have musicians talk about, oh, well, I don't want to get happy because I won't have anything to write about. I don't think it is that. I think that's just, you happen to be unhappy, but you're also a songwriter, so you think you've correlation and causation and all that kind of thing. But yeah, so it's like that guy who's in it, and he's a, what is it, a C? I didn't even understand what his actual job was. CIO, CFO, some kind of corporate tree-level thing. And he's going, I found that I'm really good with dealing with people, and because I can understand where they're coming from better, and it makes me a really good leader and stuff like that. But it's the problem with it is getting these people into those positions, because they're not naturally going to end up in them, just because they're, the kind of, I suppose, retreat in some way, because life isn't kind of geared for them. So I thought that was interesting, because I always kind of found that I am good at being a kind of a intermediary between two people. If there's an argument or something, like, I seem to be able to to have that kind of there's a word I can't remember. My brain doesn't work anymore. But that you can kind of keep it, or be able to see both sides and be able to relate it to the other person, that the two of them can't do it together. it's the diplomacy kind of a thing. So you see, I'd say now, a lot of HSPs in diplomatic stuff, or in care, I suppose, as well. Although it must be really hard for someone who's like that, who is in therapy, as a therapist or as a nurse or a doctor, because I'd say it would make, imagine you are in you're a certain type of person, and you're an A&E doctor, and you can go, right, I can switch off at the end. But you're a HSP doctor, and you're in A&E, and you have the same equivalent day. You're going, like, what do you do there?
Yeah, because I mean, you guys, like you, it's not that it's like you feel more. You fucking do feel more.
Yeah,
like,
just the brain.
You do, it's very strange.
Yeah, and it's that thing, I suppose, as well, if also you think too much. It's funny that, isn't it? That's what this brain does.
But it's not that you're more emotional. We're all as emotional as each other, I think. Maybe we don't always show it, but you just feel more. You know? It's a very strange thing to know what it is and be like, okay, yeah, I see what that is. I get it now. I mean,
because I mean, sadness is sadness, right? I mean, there's depths of sadness and stuff like that. And there's no way I would ever say that I feel more sad than someone else, or I feel more happy, or whatever it is. I don't have that.
But there's the stuff like what you're saying about the ads. Like if you see an ad for like a dog shelter on telly or something like that, I'd be like, oh, poor dogs. But you'd be like, Jesus.
Yeah, it doesn't go
because
away.
it'll just hit you more. It just you just feel the.
Well, it's also because you start thinking about the entire thing, and then that goes into all the dogs, and then all the it's like, and then you're going like, why is life like this? And then you end up doing a podcast called Adventure and Woo Woo, and you're trying to sort it all out. Seriously, why is it like this?
It's not a particularly good documentary, but I'm glad I watched it.
I would say in places it's actually a terrible documentary in places. The scenes, the reactive,
the flashing scenes. What the fuck is all about?
Bad. Like,
tries to give you epilepsy watching it. Like,
I think they'd be better off if they just had one who wrote this book and Alanis Morissette sat there and had an interview. I'd say that'd be a better documentary.
Yeah.
But it's
so
I
didn't know Alanis was a HSP. I thought she was just a bitch.
Well, she isn't it that one of her songs? She says she is anyway. But but I mean, as I said, I'm sure there's loads of people who are in. I'm not. That's not to say that you have to be a HSP to be a creative. I don't think that's true either at all.
If you already know you're a HSP, you're going to get nothing from the documentary. If you know someone who's HSP or who you think might be HSP, then you will learn an awful lot from the documentary. It's not very good. It's not well made. But the woman who wrote the book, she's interesting. The talking heads in it are pretty interesting. The epileptic scenes are really annoying. That fucking robot eye, what the fuck is that all about? Like,
not good. And it's definitely, you could go, right, well, we paid for the month of the video downloads, the royalty free video downloads. We're going to use them all in this documentary, all of them.
Half of Shutterstock is in it,
You're probably better say reading the book, but I tried it and there's an audiobook for it. I just couldn't write it. It's like kind of going, right, I know this in a sense. And there's too many other things I want to get to before that it's just I'm probably never going to get right. But I'll put all the links in the show description. The swimming cows. This came up, and why I put it in the folder and why I put it on the list was because of the whole kind of, there was a kind of, if we can we bring a spirituality towards kind of ecological and farming and that kind of thing. I was right, that could be interesting. It's not really what this documentary is, though.
That's not what it's about at all. No, I expected it something very different. I thought there'd be far more clashes in it, to be honest. But
I think, I'll talk about it as we go along, but I think that I know why there isn't. It's essentially 3 Berlin, I assume vegan, but I'm not, I might be,
hippies.
Or hippies who are very into Indian culture and have very kind of naive ideas about the world and kind of about how it should be and how it, ultimately would be better if everyone, had a certain kind of viewpoint, who go to a farm in Poland who is the complete opposite. And very quickly, it's obvious that they have no idea what they're talking about and that it's, that what they think is practical is certainly not practical. And that they feel they're living in kind of harmony with Mother Nature. And, they're more in touch with it because they're eating the plants, not eating the animals because the animals are friends. And all this, whereas it's clearly obvious that the farmer dude is more in touch with the planet than they remotely are. Like he's an embodiment of the earth element. He's
a legend, Stanislav.
There's a couple of cheeky edits in that. She has a naked shower. What's her name? Oi, or whatever. And, and there's like a load of the local lads having a look at her or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's a cheeky edit.
I don't know, but I think it's. I laughed a lot at it, but it has to be the edit. It has to be,
But the big problem is that they can't really speak Polish, and none of the Polish people can speak German. And so that's why I think there isn't as much clash, is because there's an awful lot of going, yeah, yeah, in this documentary where literally people are not understanding what the other person is saying.
Well, that was basically my life for the first couple of years of living here. Like, you know, going, especially going down to like the parents-in-law, and just like, what? You're taking the first child to do what? What? Well, no, damn it! I gave away the first baby. Yeah, look, when I was reading the blurb on it, I was like, okay, there's going to be clashes between like. I thought it was a couple of German hippies going down to set up a kind of farm or a commune. Yeah. And they were going to be farming in the same village, and they would be, no, our way is better, and it's not like that at all. It's like they kind of they're working on Stanislav's farm, and like he's really nice to them. But he's lovely to them. The wife has a bit of a go at him, all right.
She's not a fan of her.
I'll explain her. Because I know you wouldn't like her.
The daughter is going, but look at their clothes, as if what she's wearing was the height of fashion. Big bomber jacket. we're classy looking. How are you? Really?
And so they're working on the farm, and then they all just kind of get along. At first, there's a bit like you're on EO.
So it's EO, Jan, and Mario, isn't it? Not the three.
Jan and Mario must be the English guy, is it? One of them's English.
I know he's just. I don't. John is the kind of guy you can tell halfway through.
Oh, Jan, sorry, yeah. He's the English guy. Speaks German. Anyway, yeah, he's really quiet, and then he like. Something happens to him and the daughter or something. Yeah. Fair play to him. And fuck it, you're on holiday, like, you know. Yeah. And where am I starting with this? I just thought, I was expecting something different, but then they get this kind of job on the farm. They're staying on the farm. They're doing a bit of work and all this, and then immediately EO has the hump, because she's like, they bring the cows in for milking, and you know, like, this is normal. You separate the calves from the cows when you bring them in to milk them, because you can't fucking milk a calf, okay? You just can't. They don't have the equipment, you know? So she's like, oh, it's very sad, isn't it? Oh, she's making eyes at your man, and oh, this is sad, take it away. And the farmer's like, no, cow eats grass. It's fine. And she's like, it's very sad, taken away from the mum to drink milk. And he's like, no, he eats grass. What the fuck? You know, like, it's calf. And doesn't drink milk all the time.
Keeps going on about it, like, and it's like, if I could, I would bring you out to the field to give your mum to give you a hug. And you go like, what? Really? Cows hug, did I?
See, the thing is, like, I remember I wrote to you last night. It's people like EO make me want to eat a big dirty steak. Like, I hate this thing of like, you have to be my way of life because I'm a vegetarian, I'm better than you, yada yada yada. And I eat fuck all meat now, you know what I mean? And once a week at most, kind of thing. And but I suppose I don't really do it for a moralistic thing. I just don't see the point in it. I can get protein from all the other, or whatever, the other stuff from the other places. It's not needed to eat meat in these days. But it's just this. Look, it's wrong to kill animals. It is. But
there's a condescension in our attitude. It's a high horse position.
Yeah. I'm better than you.
That's it. It's I'm better than you, and I think that's the prevailing thought in our head rather than the care for the animal. That's what it comes across for me, and in people who I've met like that.
There you are. It's not really to do with caring for the animal. It's to do with I'm better than you. I'm one with Mother Earth. Yada yada yada. I'm
like, morally superior.
She really lets. She says something. Remember when they're in the field and they're lying in the wheat or whatever, and she starts talking with village people and how like they have no personalities, and the two lads are standing up for her. So but what people like that? What are you on about? And she, people here people in villages, they get married when they're 20 and they don't. She's kind of saying they don't achieve that and they don't have any character, and it's like, whoa, love. Fucking take a look at yourself here. You're literally like, if you looked up in a dictionary what a high-horsed vegan is, you're her.
I know.
You don't have a personality. You're a fucking caricature. Do you know?
Yeah.
So she's just right there in front of the film. She's just giving us her shadow. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, you're petrified of not having a character because you don't have one.
Interesting that the wife does a similar thing where she talks about they don't even have computers. They're not modern. They're not, it's the same laying out, the exact same, but from the opposite side. Whatever. Tell me about her because I didn't like her.
I did. I knew you wouldn't like her, but. What's lost
she's
on
fine.
her
like,
is...
Don't get me grand. I just don't expect, I wouldn't want to live in her house or anything. Like,
do you know what? The translations don't give the proper... translation are good in it, Aga says, but the translations don't really
the nuance
show her humour. Humour. Because, the first scene she's in, she comes in and she gives out to him because they're peeling spuds the wrong way.
Yeah.
And she's like, they're too thick because they give the skins to the cows, obviously. But it's like, you want as much of the spud as you can, as all ladies do. Hey!
Get that in a t-shirt. Yeah.
And
your skin's too thick. I'm giving it to the cow. What? What's going on?
You pull back the skin. No, don't go there.
Grate the spud. Put in the mush. Yeah.
So
this is much funnier, listeners, if you've actually seen the scene that we're talking about, to be fair.
Yeah. So she comes in and she's like, the lads are over buckets on their peeling spuds, and she gives out to them saying, look, you're peeling them, you're peeling them too thick. But the thing is that like in the English translation, it looks like she's giving out to them, but there's humour in there in the Polish of it. She's joking with them a lot. Like There's a lot more humour to her when she's speaking Polish than just the translations kind of show. You know what I mean? Like she comes across, she's much of a harder ass than her husband is. He's an absolute wimp. So he's proper one with nature and all this kind of stuff. He's an absolute sweetheart. Like she is the tougher one in the relationship.
Probably unfair, like because he's
not wimp,
but
she's
definitely in charge of.
Oh yeah, she's the boss. Look, I am yet to come across a marriage in Poland where the woman isn't the boss.
I'm yet to come across one in Ireland, So
it's just the way it is,
Yeah.
And so there are definitely times in the documentary where it seems like she's being mean or not being nice, but a lot of the time it's actually the humour that's just not translating. I had a lot of trouble with this when I moved over here, man. A lot of trouble. Just a lot of humour just doesn't translate, or it isn't right. It's like, if you did that in Ireland, it's offensive. Like, yeah, but you're not in Ireland, you fucking idiot.
Yeah,
you're in Poland.
Yeah.
Do get with it. So there's definitely that.
She goes about in that scene where she's talking, because you're on EO or EO, I'm going to call her. That's unfair, isn't it? Sorry, but I am. And she's saying, but you don't kill the cows, they're our friends. She goes, no, it's the cow's destiny. Like, they grow up, give milk. When they don't give milk, they die, and we eat them. And it's their destiny. And it's going like, that's felt very harsh and very. And I know, that there's an argument to be made, of course, about it. Whereas when Stan, perfect. And when he describes the cycle of life out in the field, it's exactly the same sentiment, but he explains it in a much more poetic,
holistic.
And you can feel he understands that. Whereas I don't feel in it like your one just goes, no, fucking, you kill a cow, that's it. Where he has seems to have a much more understanding of the nature of things. And he there was a point then, I suppose, where she made, because he's gone on about God, and he has it in at least in the translation, there's a masculine thing to it, where she immediately corrects him, and talks about mother goddess, whatever. But he has it more in a kind of a different appreciation of it. But I thought it was interesting, the reflection between the wife and the husband, that even though it's ostensibly the same thing, that she's much more kind of cruel with it or something, or at least comes across kind of cruel. He seems more in the flow, or realises the nature of it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like he's quite woo in his approach to the land, and a bit like, Steiner Theosophy, not Theosophy. What was his thing?
What is
the other one? Doesn't matter. He's into. You can see that he knows the cycles, and obviously he's a good farmer. He knows his fucking stuff. So, exactly what you're saying. He talks about the cycles in a much more holistic and natural way. rather than the way she was saying. And even like to the extent where one of the German lads, he was like, oh, one of the opening scenes is about like where you get the seeds for your wheat or whatever. And this guy is saying, yeah, look, you can't just use fucking ones you find on the street. You have to buy them in a central office, and they're all painting, all this kind of thing. I know Monsanto were doing this in France. I don't think they can do it in a lot of European countries, but I know they get away with it in France. They don't do it in Poland anyway. Because your man was like, well, they do for some. I remember like when my old fella was going sugar beet, you had to buy and the seeds are tiny. They're like on your baby fingernail, you might fit about 10 or 15 of the seeds, like tiny. Okay. What grows into sugar beet? It's total GMO stuff, but whatever, it is what it is.
Was not an EU law passed recently where they kind of said no to all of that kind of stuff? I
hope so, because Monsanto are like just evil, you know. But anyway, your man was later on. Marcio was talking to the farm. And he's like, "Where do you get the seeds from?" And he's like, "Oh, there." Like you see the dill.
Oh, you pulled out the dill. Yeah,
I get the seeds there. That's where I get the seeds. And your man blows your man's mind. He's like, "Holy shit, you can use the." Well, that's just the way things are done here. But Poland's farming industry is a bit more rustic than what Ireland's is. But at the same time, it's like, it's a big fucking country, you know what I mean? Yeah. And your man, like for me watching him, he had, I think he had about 20 cows or something. For me, compared to like where my parents-in-law live, he'd be a big farmer. But compared to an Irish farmer, 20 cows is nothing. Yeah. Do you know? I don't think you'd find a farmer with 20 cows in Ireland. It'd be just too small. Maybe in the west of Ireland or something like that.
There's kind of a presupposition going into this as well of the Berliners who kind of saying at the beginning that they kind of think that farming in general isn't good. You know, there's kind of that whole spiel at the beginning where they're talking about back in the day, real nature man thought that farming was, too much hassle and, not good. And, so and they come down and she starts giving out, and I think it's Marcio says, well, will you try get on with people? You can't just come here and after day one start telling them everything they're doing is wrong. And she's like, no.
Look, and a man, especially a German in Poland. Jesus, know your fucking place. You know what I mean?
Not even that. 3 people who clearly have never worked a physical labour day in their day. Yeah, like, in fairness, neither have I. I'm not going to someone's farm and telling them how to do it. But see when they're giving out the seeds and they're like going, I barely have enough strength to put these seeds into the ground. Singing songs. I
mean, you can see that EO really, she insults Anya, the farmer's wife, on the first night. They have a kind of barbecue thing to welcome them, and she's like, I'm not eating meat, and just making face. Like at one point she cries over this thing. And look, okay, I understand why you're vegan, vegetarian, and I'm with you. I don't think we should kill animals either, but it's just the way of the world. And like, you don't go to someone's house and just insult them, because it's quite a big thing in Poland to, like, when a stranger comes to your house, you literally empty their fridge for them. Do you know, there's a saying in Poland that they're the most hospitable people in Europe or something like that. Right. I've never heard it outside of Poland, but whatever. Joking aside, all right. No, but it is true. It is true. No, come on. I know this from going into strangers' houses. Like, it's like a wedding feast, and it's like, man, I just came over to borrow a spare tire. That's all. You know, like, oh, sit, drink, drink. Come closer and know me better. Break bread with me and whatever. Yeah. They are, honestly, they're so hospitable. It's amazing. So for her to do that on Anya like that, I thought that was bad. But I mean, at the same time, EO didn't know this too, so I don't want to be too harsh on her, kind of thing. Like, she was problematic in it rather than the other two. You could see the other two were like, right, well, we're on a farm, we may as well do our work.
Yeah, and you can see there's, like, again, my cheeky edits, but you can see things where he's just looking and going, I don't know, maybe I'm going to leave. Maybe I'm going to walk away from this. But Marcio seems more into it. But it just felt like the whole thing was that you can, the lesson, I suppose, if you want to say, you can have all of these great ideas about the world and how it should be and how it's meant to be, and you can philosophize about it, and you can, have a great ethos and feel you're wonderful and be morally superior or whatever, and then go to somewhere and go, none of that works or is relevant. Yeah. At all. And it's not, it's like, wake up to the real world kind of, well, because your man asked, well, what could you do? He goes, well, we could expand the vegetable patch or, or whatever. And it's kind of like, yeah, but like, It's not how it works, you know. It's nothing. And so she makes her comeback is right. We're going to go out to the dumpsters and pull out a tomato and a whatever it was she got out
half
of it.
A bag of carrots or something.
Yeah, and a couple of. Literally, she starts eating grass and stuff. And it's like, I understand your point. Well done, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. Look, come here. Like, if the profitability of growing onions was bigger than cows. Everyone want to be growing fucking onions.
Yeah.
It's just at this point in time, having dairy cows is still profitable. It's changing, though. I mean, it's
probably not. I mean, it's a lot of, isn't there, like subsidies, government subsidies, at least in Ireland, towards it and stuff like that to kind of keep it. But it's not even that. But it was more these three people are coming from like kind of reading books, hanging out in kind of coffee shops, and this kind of that meditation center they were at goes out like. God, can
That's
you imagine?
A cult.
Oh, man. And just going to tell people who have been doing this for generations.
Who
are more in touch with all of the things, with the animals, the ground, everything than you are, and telling them they're wrong. I felt like, and I hate the word, as a vegetarian of 30 odd years, and who can't even look at a cartoon or a Disney thing where there's a cartoon animal in jeopardy because it breaks my heart. I still felt she was wrong, or that they were wrong.
I did. It's mad. I knew you were. I knew you were going to have that reaction. Like for someone like you who is a vegetarian for so long, and I knew that you'd still be able to see the side of it that sides with the farmers rather than. The hippies coming in to show everyone their way of doing it. You know, there's a good scene as well where they have Stanislav, Anya, the old lady and the young one talking about them, and it's like, right, here we go. This is where they're going to fucking say all the horrible things about the Germans, and they start off as saying, Jesus, what are they wearing? You know, look at the weird clothes they have on, all this baggy stuff and the loose stuff, and he's like, your man's like, yeah, Jesus, this is what they used to wear. This is what peasants used to wear before the war, kind of thing, and. Okay, they are being judgmental, but then like the conversation changes then quickly, and they're like, yeah, but you know what? They're really nice, and like, yeah, they are really nice. They're right. You know, they drink their tea. They help a lot. They say please and thank you. They're lovely. They have a different religion, and you know, maybe it's Allah. Anya says maybe it's Allah. I don't know, but they take it as seriously as we take our religion, and sure, each to their own kind of thing. They're great, and you're like going. This film is not what I thought it was going to be at all.
No,
Everyone,
it's not
they're
at
really
all.
nice to each other.
Yeah. I was just like kind of going, and there was a part of me kind of going, it feels a bit pointless, or it feels a bit like a bad episode of a wife swapping TV show or something. You know, where they go to let's live in the other person's house, not the Pornhub wife swapping TV show, or whatever. And it's like just felt like, and it was definitely the hosts. Were more open than the Germans or whatever, and even then to the daughter, and she got in on the dance, and I know she was kind of making eyes and trying to take slightly the piss, but she still did it. She was there and part of the celebration. Whereas I can't imagine EO in the other way doing something similar, trying to get in on it. Like
no, I can't either.
And it made a big thing at the end as well because they put up the sign of "Do not swim in this water, do not swim in this water, do not swim in this water" in 17 different languages and loads of things. And then she goes, and jumps in the water and swims. It's like,
I got took that away from her. She was like, at the end of the film, you can see that the three of them return to Berlin, and they don't seem that happy. EO is counting euros and putting them into 3 plastic bags, maybe. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But it was an office. It looked legit, all right?
Yeah.
And then there's another guy, and the other guy, Mario, he rings up someone and she's barking on the phone. We already got the leaflets. We don't need them.
Stop sending me leaflets. Got these. Oh, alles clear. Alles klar.
Alles clear. That's as good, yeah. Okay, auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. And then the other fella, Jan is looking for a job, and he's like, yeah. And during the interview, your man's like, yeah, we're not vegetarian. And he's like, okay, whatever. And
I think you just see him his glass over and he goes, cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We get bones. We don't get frozen bones. We get fresh bones. And Jesus. But like there was the scene when they were leaving the village. They had been one of them had been swimming in a river, and the cows had crossed it as well to get to another field. And then a few scenes later, then I was saying that, like, you know, in the Polish part, you can just walk up to the river and get in, but like in Berlin, like it's illegal to swim in a local pond. It's like, and like how basically what I'm getting at is that, like, at the end of the film, it just shows that actually these three who seem to look down on everyone, they have the worst life. They definitely have the worst life.
Yeah, out of all the people on it, yeah, and that are like disconnect. Like me having a kind of a nature philosophy in Berlin of all places, where it is like, you know, it's not like that or whatever. It's just, and that you have to. I assume, you know, it's some sort of not really that safe or clean kind of river that she got into or whatever compared to the one. Yeah, it was just. I was halfway through it and I was going, I don't know what this is. And I was going, but there's something that's really intriguing me about it. And I knew that at the end of it, that like no lessons were learned this day. But I think the Polish people probably took something away from it. They're going, right, there's other people who have mental ideas about about this stuff. And, you know.
Well, I mean, you can see it, like from Stan was saying that, like, you know, he's tied to the farm. You know, he can't leave it. You know what I mean? Like, he can't go off on holidays. He can't go, like, nightclubbing and stuff like that, he was saying. But you can also see as well, like, he's yeah. But you can see as well, like, he's very happy with the farm, and like he's quite open to you know, 21st century living and stuff. He's like, because they ask him, like, okay, who's going to get the farm after you? Because everyone has this idea that, like, well, the farm goes to whichever son or whatever. And he's like, okay, look, I'd like Shimon to get it, but if he doesn't want it, then he doesn't have to take it. I say, wow, you know, most farmers, not most farmers, but if you'd have asked the farmer that 20 years ago, oh, the son, first son or last son or whatever.
That's just what it is.
He's like, whatever. But like, they seem really nice and open, and I enjoyed it. But I think the lesson was there for the hippies to be like, right, put your money where your mouth is, lad. Your mouths are, and like, you know, it's all cool and all to light incense to your goddess, but like, you know, can you roll up your sleeves and get dirty?
Well, that's it. It's the thing of the armchair occultist or metaphysician or mystic or whatever, you know, compared to the actual nuts and bolts of it, and the actual, you know, it's like, I am one with the earth goddess and never been to a forest in their life, or never planted, you know, a plant, or have no idea what it is. And it's like, I'm not blanketly sweeping that all people like that, but these three clearly were, and there's definitely people who espouse themselves as being kind of nature, whatever, and clearly have no idea. And that's I suppose there's a lesson in all that, in that, you know, you can be an expert in something and have literally no idea what you're talking about at the same time, you know, which is clear. But I would advise people to watch this documentary, but it's like, there's probably 20 documentaries that you should watch before it or whatever, like the time, but put it on your list of it. It's worth a watch. It's a bit reality TV, you know, but it's good. Different, completely different from what I thought. It's not the documentary I thought I was going to be.
I think I got more out of it because I know that I know the sense of humor more.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying, because you were asking me, it's a shit, and I was going, no, I think it's not, but I think you'll get a lot out of it, being the whole Polish thing and and I did. I mean, I didn't think it was shit. You know, it's just it was surprising, I suppose.
I liked it. I would have been nice if Jan got off with your one, the blondie one. There was a weird. It looks like they did.
Yeah, there's a weird kind of thing where he goes, "Oh, and now with my Polish wife," and she's kind of going, What did I agree to?
I don't know. I kissed you once. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have this harvest party. Agga was saying she was at one years ago, and she's like, it's just debauchery. It's just drinking, which surprised me because I've never been to a Polish party where it hasn't been drinking.
Right. So what's the difference about this one? Yeah.
I don't know. It's at the end of the harvest.
Yeah, it's the same as an Irish party, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, we have a big party. Yeah. Is it different from all the other parties? No.
No, it's exactly the same. We'll have triangle sandwiches and lots of beer. Yay! Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I've not noticed that really. I like that. I got a good bit of enjoyment. You'll get to see what, the rural Polish people are like. which is quite open actually. You know, which I'm very happy with.
you'll find out how to sing to your food, because that's important while holding hands. Oh, the food, this is nourishing me. Oh, it's like a Catholic priest singing at Mass. Oh, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world.
Right, good luck.
Good luck, bye!